Everyone, welcome to yet another episode of Legal Avenue. It's your host Ram, and today we are diving into the maze of becoming an advocate in Uganda. If you just finished LDC or you're wrapping up your LLB, first of all, huge congratulations. You are so close to the finish line. Hey. But before you can confidently represent clients in courts of law, there is a serious administrative maze you need to go through, and that's the enrollment stage. It's like another course after the bar course. Be ready for that course because it lasts around 10 to 12 months. Yeah? Are you ready for that stage? And in today's episode of Legal Avenue, I'm breaking down the exact step-by-step process of getting your certificate of eligibility that paves way for your enrollment, and also have your name entered into the role of advocates, and finally secure your first practicing certificate, usually what people usually call the PC. But before we dive into step one, let me give credit where it's due. I really want to commend the current Law Council for the credible work they are really doing in trying to speed up this process of getting your certificate of eligibility. What you should know that it used to take around 2 full years for one to get enrolled. But now, these people have really brought the process down to 10 to 12 months. And that is really, really massive progress. Yeah, we should really give them credit. They are really doing a good job out there. Colleagues, I need to give you a serious reality check with the enrollment process. First of all, you need to adjust your mindset. You need to adjust your mindset. What you should know that you will not enroll as soon as possible. So if you really want to enroll as soon as possible, you end up getting desperate, and of course scammers will eat your money with empty promises of express shortcuts, fast track, follow-ups, and you end up losing the money. So please try to be patient. You enroll. Time will come and you have to enroll. So what you have to know, the secret of moving fast isn't about paying bribes. It's being quick during the process. It's moving fast. When your name comes up, whether correction, gazetting, onward transmission, yes, the secret is move fast, move immediately, and embark on that stage that you are. And by the way, please don't panic when you see your friends' names coming out fast. Don't let that pressure make you desperate. Stay calm, follow the rules, and things will move on the way they're supposed to move on. Okay? And I want to give a quick disclaimer. This video is just a free guide. It does not constitute as the final and the legal advice when it comes to enrollment. Just it's a guide. It's a guide that actually you should know. You should expect some of the things when it comes to enrollment. Just have it back of your mind that the Law Council is incredibly strict about paperwork. So your application needs to be perfect in terms of punctuation, 0 typos, and of course, perfect grammar. Without that, my friend, they will keep on quelling your application each and every day. So let's get into step one. Now, step one is all about getting your academic papers certified. You're going to go back to your university, have your LLB certificate certified, your transcript certified. Of course, charges of certifying such documents differ depending on your university. Some charge 2,000, others 5,000, others 10,000. So it depends. It depends on the university. The university you came from. Next, you have to have your postgraduate diploma in legal practice certificate and transcript certified too. LDC used to charge 20,000 per copy, but with the coming of, I think, Dr. Pamela, they reduced the amount to 10,000. So the number of copies of certifying depends on your choice. Any number will work, but remember, Law Council only needs only 2 copies of those certified documents. And a quick one also, when you're spelling LDC or Law Development Center, make sure you spell it in the English way, not the American English way, UK English, okay? But here is another critical update that you need to know. Previously, Law Council used to ask for, never used to ask for transcripts, but now they're asking for the transcripts. So please take note of that. They used to ask for LLB transcript, but now they also need the LDC transcript. So please, if you're certifying, please make sure you take note of that. So Law Council's latest update clearly mandates that you must attach your certified true copies of your certificates and your actual academic transcripts. Colleagues, do not skip these transcripts. Your file will be rejected when you submit it. So another step that we have is preparing the application. Preparing application, it's not something very easy. Step 2 is where the drafting begins. You are preparing for an application for a certificate of eligibility. To do so right, you must cite the law directly in the body of the application. Specifically, note section 13, subsection 1 and 2, and also section 8 of the Advocates Act, Cap 295, and also the Advocates Regulations, that is Statutory Instrument number 267.1. Now, if you're coming in from a foreign jurisdiction and you have practiced there for 5+ years, or you did a 1-year clerkship placement under a senior advocate, you also need to cite section 13, subsection 10, and also 11, depending on your track. The address, this is why they usually flag people's applications. Now, make sure your application is addressed to the Secretary, Law Council, not Uganda Law Council, okay? Also, it has to be under the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Jealous Towers, ground floor, plot 98, 106 Katalima Road, Naguru, PO Box 7183. Please take note of the PO Box, okay? Usually that's why they get people. Now, when you're drafting, it's very smart to use sample drafts or precedents from your friends who enrolled before you. It makes the work so much easy. But let me give you a massive warning. Just because your friend's application passed, does not mean you also sail through without corrections, okay? This is something very easy. The reason is the officer who received or who reviewed your friend's file may not be the same person handling yours. Plus, now Law Council guidelines are so strict, okay? So you have to take note of that. For example, your application must detail your exact birth information, meaning the specific home, hospital, parish, sub-county, county, and the district where you are born. You also have to state where you get this information from. List your parents' names and make sure the graduation dates in your application match your certificates perfectly. Don't try to write this application without double checking this information, okay? The moment you don't do that, hey, they will flag your application. And don't try to, and here is one final style tip that will save you. While writing your documents, please capitalize the first letters of specific places, villages, districts, jobs, okay? For example, like legal assistant, it must have capital L and capital A. For places like, however, general words like advocate, jurisdiction, applicant, affidavit, recommenders do not need capital letters. They used to ask for capital letters. I don't know why they changed, but right now they don't need capital letters or such words unless they are beginning a sentence, okay? So you have to clearly state those things when it comes to making your application. Please take note of that, because the moment you don't do, your application will be flagged. So here is a huge wording trap that usually catches most of the people out there. Do not write, I have never been declared bankrupt. If you write this, just know your application is going to be automatically rejected and you'll be subjected to correction. So there's a guideline checklist that was given. Please look at that guideline. They usually state how you're supposed to draft that. Okay. Now, having drafted your application perfectly, you must compile your master bundle in duplicate. Organize your attachments in the following order. So this order here is annexure A1 must be the degree certificate. Then annexure A2 must be the degree transcript. Then annexure B1 must be the postgraduate diploma certificate. Then annexure B2 must be the transcript of LDC. Then annexure C and D must be the letters of recommendation. Now, speaking of speaking of recommendations, you need 2 letters from advocates of High Court who have been in practice for almost like 3 years and above. And the rules are very clear and strict. The letters must clearly say that you're a fit and proper person for a certificate of eligibility, not for enrollment, not for legal practice. It is for certificate of eligibility. And they also need to explain how they know you, like if they were your clerkship supervisors or former professional advisors, they have to state that relationship. So without that, hey, you end up getting problems. And also take note that both letters cannot come from the same firm or same office, okay? They have to be 2 different people working in different areas. And please, they should not have this copy and paste having the same content, okay? This is why the challenge comes in when they have copy and paste. And secondly, they also have to be on official letterheads. Yeah. You have to take note of that. If you're also employed, one recommendation must come from your workplace, as long as the person signing is an advocate with 3 pieces, more than 3 pieces. You should take note of that. Secondly, what is also important is that in your application you must describe those recommenders of yours, either of more than 3 years standing or with more than 3 years experience. You don't have to use both. You have to choose one statement. The moment you use both, your application will be subjected to corrections. Okay, take note of that. Another important aspect you need to take note is that the main application is just dated and signed by you. There are colleagues who go ahead and commission the application. That one is very, very wrong. Instead, you draft a separate affidavit verifying everything in the application. That is the right way you're supposed to do it. And this affidavit must cite the Advocates Act, that is CAP 295, and also the regulations. And it also has to cite the Oath Act, which is CAP 2021. So please take note of that. Here is another aspect. Do not use the words like affirm and swear at the same time. If you're a Christian, then the right word is to swear, make oath, and deponent. Now, if you're a Muslim, then you must use affirmed, and they say affirmant. Okay? Please don't interchange this thing. And you also remember that affidavit must be commissioned by a gazetted commissioner for oaths, and then you have to register that affidavit with URSB, which can only cost around 55,000. Remember, both application and affidavit must bear the exact same date, so please don't write a different date on the application and also write a different date. Different date on the affidavit. If your name is written slightly different on your documents, then you have to draft what we call a statutory declaration in verification of the name, not names. This is where people get problems. They write in verification of the names. It has to be the name, and you also have to cite CAP for the statutory declaration, which is CAP 2015. 4. I hope you are together in trying to see how you can maneuver this maze. If you legally changed or added a name, you must also attach a registered deed poll as an extra E. If you also change your name, through marriage, then you also have to attach a marriage certificate as an extra F. Those are the important aspects that you need to take note of. By the way, if you have ever lost any of the documents needed by local council, it shouldn't be the end of you. Just know they can also accept official verification letters from such entities. So if you lost the documents, please don't lose hope that you will not get your certificate of eligibility. You can also submit verification letters from entities that issued these original documents. Now, let me give you one of the priceless piece of advice. The moment you start this application, this process, please make sure you join a WhatsApp group, enrollments WhatsApp group. Usually these are set up by peers. These are lifesavers, by the way. They are lifesavers. They usually give you updates. People are consistently snapping photos of the physical notice board at the office, at the registry there, and they keep on sharing this update. So it's good. Usually know how your application is moving. So if you have an opportunity, please try to join such groups. If you're an upcountry candidate, maybe you're working from Lira, you're from Lira, Mbale, Gulu. Those other far distance, it's important you connect with friends who are based in Kampala. They can usually check for you on notes board, make a follow-up for you, and simplify your work. The moment you sit redundant without any update. But of course, remember to be fair to these people. Send them some transport, some airtime. Yes, it's a team effort. Don't just send them, Namarusu. No, it will not work. So, the third stage, that is now lodging your application. That is the third stage. Once your paperwork is all together, it's time now to submit to the local council. First of all, get colored passport photos. There could be 4, others submit 2, but at least 4 is an appropriate number. And also make sure in that photo you are dressed up in black suit, a white shirt, and of course your hair is well kept. Okay? The moment you do that, they may reject your application for you to submit in more proper passport photos. Next, after having that, you have to head to the local council registry, and it is located at Jealous Towers in Naguru, and there you're supposed to get an assessment. There is a form they give you, an assessment of 45,000 shillings that you are supposed to pay through Diamond Trust Bank or any other URA approved banks. After making the payment, you take the receipt right there to the Ministry of Justice, that is the cash office, still at Jealous Towers, and there it will get verified and stamped paid. Yes, they will stamp on that assessment form that you have paid. Organize your documents into 2 original sets, and remember everything must be submitted in duplicate. Okay, and of course you are in position to hand over the application to the registry. But a tip for you, you always keep an extra copy for the whole bundle that you have submitted, and usually you submit it and they put a stamp received, because you never know, your application may be misplaced and you know where to be seen. So when you submit the officer will stamp your copy and acknowledge the receipt of the application. And that brings us to the end of part 1. You've survived the paperwork, the prep, you officially lodged your application at the registry, but the journey doesn't stop here. In part 2, we are diving into straight away this high-stakes correction stage, how to handle the gazette, the big enrollment ceremony day, and also the final puzzle of securing your practicing certificate. You don't want to miss the next steps, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notification, and see you in another video. And I'll see you right back here for part 2. Keep your heads high, stay patient. Let's get you into the role. See you in the next part.
Little sweet inside.